trade education generally. Part of the certified documentary credit specialist, and we're going to put this on our website. We also want to have registry of trade professionals that have gone through trade Impex, but this is for Londoners of banking and finance. What you find most, the people you find there, majority of people there you find are Europeans, Asians, especially China. And as at my last check, Nigeria has less than 55 certified trade professionals out of over 10,000 on the list all over the world. And that for me speaks volume. Because when you see the way these nations are going and how they have been able to take lead over the years, you discover that they are not just doing it out of the blues. There's something under that is driving it. They are also developing an army of professionals that are able to ensure that whatever it is they plan to do, they are able to make it work because they are seriously given to training. A friend of mine went for a master program in the US, and he said, talking about the way Asians are going to the US to learn and go back. He got to the point that whenever the lecturer has a question, the professor asks him a question, there's this Chinese guy to be looking at, they lost out now. Answer this man now, because the man will wait for them to respond. And it's this Chinese man that is going to respond to them. And they're going to answer most of the questions. And so like the class is looking up to him to beat them out whenever the lecturer pose a question to them. The nation Nigeria and indeed Africa will only be able to match the developed world in terms of international trade volume when we begin to take international trade education seriously. As it is right now, Africa with over 1 billion people contribute less than 3% of world trade. Think of Europeans with less than 500 million people contribute about 33% of the world trade. And that tells you it's not about the number or the population of the people in that country. As a matter of fact, countries like times 2, 3 lower, smaller than other countries are giving them aids. You see countries that are over 100 million people, and see countries that is less than 50 million people and giving aid to people that are over 150 or even 200 million people. Lack of trade education has done great damage to Africa, and this has made Africa to relegate export to the background and focus only on import trade. That made Africa to export jobs to other parts of the world by exporting commodities. Because when you export commodity, you are exporting commodity for other people to add value. So you are actually exporting jobs and importing unemployment. To export solely, making Africa to export solely for the purpose of profit and not to take over the world. China is not just exporting because they want to make money. Like we discussed in class separately, it's not just about making money. It's about also making a statement, showing the world we can do this, just for the world to know that this is coming from our country. Making Africa to remain in modern slavery by exporting cocoa beans instead of exporting chocolate. Making Africa to lose a lot of money due to the exploitation of substandard products. It made Africa to only see challenges while the foreigners see opportunities in our environment. For those of us that travel frequently, if you get to the airport, you see foreigners coming into this country with you. And you agree with me? They're not coming to camp bridges, they have better one in their country. They are coming for what? Opportunities. Huge opportunity and environment. It makes banks in Africa to be unable to mitigate export risk and hence show great apathy towards funding export transactions. A number of banks don't want to fund trade transactions, especially export. Why? Because they've lost money in the past. And they're feeling, look, why will I be focusing on an area where I'm losing money? But it's actually as a result of very, very low trade education in the environment, and the fact that we really are not giving ourselves to it for this long. It also makes us to remain very small in the volume of trade done with the rest when compared to the rest of the world. It makes Africa to be receiving aids from countries that are very much lower than them in size and population, making Africa to rely on and constantly plead for aids instead of negotiating trade deals. Instead of going and negotiating trade deal, we are begging for aids. Why are we not able to negotiate trade deal? What is it to sell? There's not much for us to sell. Making Africa to lose its freedom as a sovereign state because of the favor shown to him, or to her rather, by the developed world. For every level of favor you get, you also lose some degree of freedom. And the case in point is what we saw in Rwanda recently, with them saying they don't want okrika from the US, and US is saying you must buy okrika from us. Why? They were delisted from AGOA. Why? AGOA is Africa Growth Opportunity Act that enables sub-Saharan Africa to ship products to the US duty-free. But but they were delisted because they said they are not going to buy used clothes and shoes from the US again. And US see it as a threat to the economy because of the people in the country that are shipping those things to Africa. Having seen as threat to the economy, which is against or violating the rule under AGOA, they delist Rwanda. And Rwanda, Kagame did not really care, doesn't bother. He's ready to put his country on the path of progress and is doing everything to make that work. It is high time that Africa realize that we should learn to acquire skill, because through skill we can develop competence, and with competence we can solve problems. And when we solve problems, we are able to create value for the world in terms of product and services. And when we solve problems, when we through products and services we create, which is value, we're able to attract wealth. So if Africa is going to attract wealth, we must trade. If we are going to trade, then we must solve problems the world desire. In solving that problem, then we must be creating value, products and services. And in creating products and services, we really must be competent to solve problems. So the challenge is that we are not able to solve a lot of problems for the world because they are not competent. Why are we not having competence? Because we're not trained. People are not going for training. People see, it's amazing how much people pay. Sometimes I want to check some conferences, I want to go outside the country and I see the amount. And people are going to attend those conferences. There was one I was reading recently, in the class we discussed about this guy, the Hofstede model on determining origin of culture of countries. And the man was going to organize an event on culture, international trade on culture, how culture shapes people's buying and selling in the world. And it's, I think, about $5,000 or $10,000 for is it 1 or 2 day training? And I'm wondering that, are they going to do it? How people are going to attend 2 day training, 3.6 million naira? So, but people are going to attend because of the value they give to knowledge. The value they give to knowledge. But unfortunately, like I was saying, we are not into research and development really because we don't value education. Only very few people in this society value education. If value education will give a lot to research and development, because most of the things that we found out today that are being developed, most of them, they even stumble on them along the line because of research. Some of them were not even planned. They just stumble on it along the way. And then it becomes a product or service that the world is now really, really demanding for. Look at Facebook. How the Mazugaba started. It was supposed to be able to create a place where they can post their picture in another campus for them to be able to see them. It wasn't, the the idea of Facebook, what it became happened along the line. And that's one thing also I've learned in business, that you don't get to see everything at once. You don't get to see everything at once. But when you start, you begin to see other possibilities. And which is why there is need to start. There is need to start. For those of us that are doing the program also, I've said it several and repeatedly that I'm seeing a lot of opportunity with the African Continental Free Trade Agreement in Africa. Why? Because if we develop very well, like the model we talk about on Obsidian and other ones, being able to penetrate, design model such that I can take a company product and come up with a marketing plan to be able to penetrate a particular market in Africa and sell it to them. Now, what that means is that I don't necessarily have to even do the trade. I can consult for them in market development, that do the export business management. Just talking about many opportunities that will come up as a result of the knowledge that we have acquired. We need to solve problems. We need to solve the idea of quick fix it that has brought us here. A 2-day training program is not enough to make you a trade expert. Most of the time when we do 2-day training program, it's just for you to be able to have a basic understanding. And sometimes people think with that they can start trading from tomorrow. And we'll be accused, I've done this training and I've not started. And I'm saying, it's not learned enough. It was supposed to be more like an appetizer, really. For you to now leverage on and develop more. But if there is not really anything, you just believe you can start immediately and, of course, get discouraged. You need a comprehensive training to achieve that. The more trade expert we have, the more we can solve the trade problem, and the more it becomes easier for us to grow export trade in Nigeria. Because sincerely, we're not growing trade because there are not enough people to drive it. If you have enough people in different organizations, it's easier to pass those ideas to the management and for the management to buy into it. But there are not enough people available in many organizations. They have huge potential, but they're not thinking about it at all because sincerely, you can't see beyond the level of knowledge you have. Your knowledge determines how your worldview, how far and great you can see. So if you don't have the knowledge, you won't even think about it in the first place. That means the company have the potential to take over Africa with their product, but they did not do anything about it, but they don't have enough personnel to be able to get that done. Have you ever wondered why Chinese, Indians, Lebanese, Europeans are able to thrive in the import-export space in Nigeria? Do you know that according to CBN, 60% of importers in Nigeria and exporters in Nigeria are done by foreigners? It's not my view, it's CBN staff talking. Major importers in Nigeria, major exporters in Nigeria are foreigners. You know why? They are seeing what we are not seeing. When they come in, you see population, they see market. They see market. And when they come in, they are able to see what they can convert from waste to wealth and export. When it comes to value addition, for raw material to finished product, more often than not, go and check it, majority of the time you find foreigners there. So foreigners are majorly coming into this environment and milking the system at no benefit to the government and taking a lot of things out. So think of import, they are the major importer. Think of export, they are the major exporter. Why? They are seeing something. They are given to knowledge. Because knowledge already open their eyes. So when they come into this place, during the recession, there's a story of a Chinese man who is a major importer in Nigeria. And as Nigerians were complaining about the recession and complaining, I saw an article about this man being interviewed and he was talking about the fact that when Nigeria complaining about Buhari, he just went into commodity export to fund his import. He's doing a lot of import in Nigeria. And this product business is going to go down because there's no forex. He just started exporting to China. A number of them are not grounded at all. They just want to make money and not really willing to invest into any form of education. What do you think is the reason for this? It's because they have clarity as to what they want to do. The evidence that you have clarity rather in life is taking action. They are well trained and hence have enough knowledge that makes them to see opportunities in the midst of our challenges. So they choose to focus on solving problems instead of complaining. So when they come here, they always wanting to solve problems. When they don't have light, they bring in the solar panel. Instead of lantern that is killing people and fire high break here and there, they bring in solar panel that in the villages just put the panel on the window. And then the light is there in the evening.